What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another uniform review video. Alright, so I am back. I've made it through the surgery. I am recovering just fine. I had a little bit of a stall or slowdown there because I had a bad reaction to the anesthesia after the surgery, so I needed a few days of special attention to get over that. But that's all in the past now, and I'm getting better. So yeah, hopefully everything will be back to normal pretty soon. I'm still waiting on some of the results from the surgery because they had to take some biopsies, but the labs are kind of slowed down and backed up right now with everything that's going on. So I'm still waiting on those results. Hopefully when those results come in, I'll have some good news, and yeah, I'll be able to go from there. But for today, we're going to be taking a look at Amadeus Cho here. So let's go ahead and get into today's video. Here we have his Agents of Atlas look, or the Brawn uniform, where he kind of slimmed down quite a bit here. He's the only, I don't know, average size looking Hulk now that we have, because look at that. He looks like a, I don't know, like a prep boy or something. He's I don't know, he's got his hair slicked back. He looks like he's ready to go study, but I guess that makes sense. He is the 8th greatest genius, after all, or the world's 8th greatest genius. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the uniform does for him. So the uniform bonus is going to increase his critical damage by 50% on critical hits or critical attacks. Change the effects of skill 8th greatest genius, which was, yeah, it's tier 2 passive. And then he's getting 7 skill changes, so pretty much everything's getting changed. It's passive and this. So yeah, it's going to be a major upgrade for Amadeus Cho here. So definitely, if you like playing with Cho, then you're going to want this uniform. So let's take a look at what the skills are going to do here. First, we'll go to his tier 2 passive. So he's going to have some guaranteed crit 20%, and then increase ignore dodge by 20%, skill damage 20%, and bonus damage by 15%. His passive right here, he now has some super armor, which is quite nice. So he has critical hit damage by 25% and all defense 20%. First skill just looks like an average skill. Second skill looks like an average skill. Third skill, like a lot of the other third skills, has all the buffs on it. So here we have increase all attack and all defense by 25%. Gets a little bit of all speed there, then 15% crit rate. He gets 6 seconds of damage immunity, and then he gets accumulation, and this is damage dealt, which is really nice. So you don't have to worry about getting hit or timing it so that you get hit before going into the next skill or anything like that. And it looks like it's going to be a 70% all attack buff, which is quite nice. His fourth skill here, we have some all defense down. It stacks up to minus 60%, so that's quite good. So we can actually combo him with Dr. Voodoo or White Fox, and we should see some really good results in World Boss Ultimate. I believe that'll stack up to like minus 80, 3%, I don't know, something in the low 80s, I think, for that one. And then we have an all attack buff and all defense buff here, 30% for the all attack, which is quite nice. And then only whatever this 0.5 seconds of paralysis is, that's, I don't know, I'd like a little bit more than 0.5 seconds. That would be nice. I guess that'll interrupt the boss for a second there. Either way, let's just go ahead and hop into the skill preview here and see what the new skills actually look like. Oh yeah, and he's also getting a awakening skill. The awakening skill, you are going to need, what is it, Wave, Luna Snow, and Odin at tier 2 to get this awakening skill. The awakening skill did look pretty strong, but I can't remember what the exact buffs were. I wonder if it'll tell me. Well, we get to see the awakening. Oh, it was telling me. Yeah, we see them all coming in here. So we've got, oh, it only shows level 1 of this skill. Okay. Anyway, it's looks like it's going to be a really strong awakening skill. It's going to be a high damage awakening skill, which is quite nice. So kind of like Doc Ock's awakening skill is like a really high damage one. Mystique's is a really high damage one. So yeah, it's going to be kind of similar to that. So let's just get into his normal skills here. So first skill, he's got a partial iframe at the start there, and then it goes away. Second skill, we have the same thing, partial iframe, then it goes away. Third skill gives him all the buffs, but we do get damage immunity with this, so it doesn't matter that it's not an iframe. And if you pay close attention to all the buff icons up there, if you cancel the skill right away, you're only going to get the damage immunity, because boom, here we have damage immunity. If I cancel it, that's all I get. So you're actually going to have to wait until, alright, so if you look at the board here, you see all the writing on it. As soon as like that master formula comes up and you see like a formula that takes up that entire screen that he has there, then you can cancel the skill and you have all the buffs. So right here. You can cancel the buff or cancel the skill and you'll be good to go if you need to cancel it. And it seems like you can use this skill wherever you are, so you don't need a target. As you can see, he just kind of punches out into the void there, so you don't need a target, which is fantastic. So if you're the boss iframes, if you get into a situation where the boss is like jumping away from you, and normally that would cancel out your skills, so you might only get the damage immunity and not the buffs, Cho is not going to have that problem. So you're still going to get your buff, you're still going to get your damage immunity, and you can use that, you know, like I said, when the boss is iframing, which can be actually quite nice to do. And now if we move on to the fourth skill, this one doesn't have an iframe. But it is going to be the skill that applies the, oh yeah, there's an iframe at the end there, but this is the skill that applies the all defense down, and it doesn't apply until that kind of rubble comes up in the air there, so he punches that up right there, and then the all defense kind of applies when he does the hit that launches that piece of kind of concrete into the air. So right there we have some all defense down, right? Yeah. And then we do that, and then that explosion kind of stacks up the all defense down for you. So you do want to let that skill play through, and that end part with the explosion does do a lot of damage, so you still want to let that play through anyway, even if you weren't using it for the all defense down, because that damage is quite nice. The fifth skill is an iframe, which is really good because he needs that for his survivability, because the third skill is on such a long cooldown that he's basically relying on that immunity from the third skill and the iframe on the fifth skill to kind of survive. So I've noticed that that can be a little bit tricky with keeping him alive in World Boss Ultimate, because you're going to be kiting around just a little bit to let the third skill come off of cooldown. So let's go ahead and back out here and then try him out in a little bit of World Boss Ultimate, and I'll show you the skill rotation and I'll show you how he plays. Alright, so here we are at Proxima. We're going to be doing a stage 50 here because that's actually quite high stage for a level 60 character, so I wanted to see how he will do. We have Crescent for her leadership, we got that physical attack 60%, and then we have Shuri for her tier 2 passive. We're going to be hopping in with no strikers here just to see what kind of damage he can do, because he does supply his own all defense down, and it is quite nice at minus 60%. Again, you can use Dr. Voodoo or White Fox to kind of bump that up even more, but I'm just going to try him out like this for now. So let's go ahead and switch over. We're going to start with the fifth skill here just to get the proc activated. Going to let that play through, and then we're going to go right into the third skill, get the buff, hop into the fourth. And then I think, yeah, that is going to proc here. Then as you can see, that explosion there at the end, oh, it's a little too late getting into the fifth skill. You can see that big gap in his protection from iframe to damage immunity. So let's go ahead and do that again. Get the fourth skill, and then there we go. Now hop into the fifth, and we should see some pretty good damage here. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that damage because, again, he's only level 60, so that damage is really nice for a level 60 character. So I could definitely see him being really, really strong at level 70, and also with that awakening skill. So the awakening skill is going to bump up his damage even more. He's a little bit awkward to time for a damage proc obelisk, because that's what I have on him. I forgot, I never showed the obelisk, did I? All I have on him is just a standard obelisk with a 100% damage proc, so it's not even that high. It's just immune to guard break, 100% proc, and I don't think there's the other stat was anything noteworthy. I think it was just like poison resist or something like that. So he's doing really good considering this is only a 100% proc. So yeah, I'm quite impressed with this uniform here. And both his fifth and his fourth skill look like they do some pretty nice damage. So, oh, I messed up the rotation there. I did it backwards. Yeah, and he dies. Yeah, you have to be very careful about that. I didn't have the third skill to use for my protection there, because you need that protection on the third skill and then the iframe on the fifth skill. They're pretty much the only ways to keep him alive. And you do have a little bit of downtime just because of the cooldown on the third skill. So you can definitely die in that kind of gap right there. So right when that fifth skill ends after doing the normal rotation, you're going to try to run away. You want to hold the joystick away from the boss and make sure you get out of there as quickly as possible, and then use the third skill as soon as it comes up. Yeah, that's kind of the best way that I've seen to play him. The damage looks good. So overall, I'm quite impressed with Braun right here. Let's just go ahead and do one more test. We'll hop in with Doc Voodoo for lead, so let's go ahead and load that up. So now we have the Doc Voodoo lead, so we're going to get even more all defense down here. So let's see if it is enough all defense down to actually start seeing those bars melt a little bit here. All right, so let's switch on over, hop over to that 5th skill just to get the initial proc off. Yep, there we go. And onto the 3rd skill, got our buff. Now let's see what kind of damage we can do. Ooh. Yeah, that all defense. What does it stack up to? 84%. So, okay, like mid 80s. Boom, get our buff going. What are you punching at? Proxima's the other way there, Cho. He's like just punching at nothing. No, we're gonna get snared. Oh, no, we're not. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I canceled that a little too early. We're not getting our all attack buff there. Yeah, the damage is pretty nice. So with Doc Voodoo, you can definitely see the increase in damage. But again, it's just a little awkward timing a standard damage proc with him. It's just a little annoying, but as you can see, luckily both his 5th and 4th skill hit really hard, so it's not that big of a deal. But I would like to be able to consistently land the damage proc on the 5th skill after the 4th skill. It's just the skill animations are a little too long to do that very consistently. Alright, so here we go. Just get that all defense down. Boom. Yeah, there we go. Now we hop into, yeah, I like that damage. Alright, yeah, so I'm quite happy with Cho here. So let me know what you guys think about the Brawn uniform here for Amadeus Cho. Overall, it looks very strong, so definitely if you want to start using Amadeus here, you're going to want to pick up this uniform. It's pretty much got everything except for survivability. You do need to be really careful about that. If you saw me mess up that skill rotation once where I didn't have the 3rd skill available and I accidentally used the 4th skill, I got pretty much killed in like 2 hits, so that is something to keep in mind. But besides that, I'm very happy with this uniform. I wish I could see exactly what the max level was for his awakening skill here. I'm thinking that might stack up to minus 65 or 70% for that all defense down. If that is the case, if it goes up to minus 70%, then it's going to be very similar to Mystique, where her awakening skill is going to do significantly more damage than the other skills with a Doc Voodoo or White Fox leadership, because you're going to stack up really, really close to that 100% cap. You're going to be in the 90s, and it's going to start hitting really hard with the awakening skill, and then you'll see some of the damage fall off for like the standard skills. But either way, he's looking quite impressive. If you wanted to invest in an awakening skill, I think he's going to be able to perform at a very high level for World Boss Ultimate. And that's going to be it for this video here. Hopefully you enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.